Right now, you might be watching this without thinking about your brain at all. You're listening, maybe relaxing, maybe just passing time. Everything feels normal. But inside your head, something much quieter may be happening. Tiny connections between brain cells slowly weakening. Chemical signals not traveling as efficiently as they once did. Small amounts of cellular waste building up in the spaces between neurons. You cannot feel it. There is no pain, no warning. And that is exactly why it goes unnoticed for so long. For many people, the first signs are subtle. You walk into the kitchen and stop. You open a drawer and pause. Why did I come in here? You search for a familiar name that suddenly feels just out of reach. You forget a word mid-sentence and try to laugh it off. These moments seem small, harmless, just part of getting older. But they often reflect changes that have been developing quietly for years. Your brain works hard all day. It processes information, stores memories, manages decisions, coordinates every movement you make. By night, that activity leaves behind waste buildup, weakened connections, and small amounts of cellular damage. If this builds up, thinking slows, memory fades, mental clarity begins to decline. But here is the part most people never hear. Your brain does not simply shut down when you sleep. During deep sleep, it shifts into repair mode. Waste products are cleared away. Damaged cells are restored. Important memories are strengthened. New connections are built. It is a nightly maintenance cycle designed to keep your brain functioning. However, this repair system depends on something critical. It needs raw materials, specific nutrients your body must supply. Without those materials, the repair process cannot work properly. Cleanup becomes incomplete. Rebuilding weakens, and over time, decline continues quietly in the background. The good news is that certain foods provide exactly what your brain needs during this overnight repair window. What you eat, especially in the evening, can influence how effectively your brain restores itself while you sleep. In this video, I am going to walk you through specific foods that support nighttime brain repair. Each one targets a different part of the process. Together, they form a complete system. Food number 1. Whole eggs. And this one is often misunderstood, because for years it was unfairly criticized and pushed aside. Whole eggs, not egg whites, not cholesterol-free substitutes. Whole eggs with the yolk intact, because the yolk is where nearly all of the brain-relevant nutrition lives. If salmon provides the structural material your brain builds with, eggs support the signaling system. That allows brain cells to communicate during sleep. They provide the raw ingredients your brain uses to send messages, strengthen memories, and organize information overnight. The key nutrient here is choline. Your brain uses choline to produce acetylcholine, a chemical involved in memory formation. During deep sleep, especially in dreaming stages, acetylcholine activity increases. This is when your brain replays experiences from the day, strengthens important connections, and locks in memories. It is your brain quietly deciding what to keep and what to discard. Without enough choline, this process becomes less efficient. Signals weaken. Memories do not form as clearly. The brain tries to organize information, but the messengers needed to do the job are limited. Over time, this can show up as slower recall, reduced mental clarity, and more difficulty forming new memories. Most people, especially over 60, are not getting enough choline. A single egg yolk contains roughly 125 milligrams, making eggs one of the richest and most usable sources available, unlike many plant-based sources. The choline in eggs is packaged with phospholipids that help your body absorb and use it effectively. That means more reaches your brain where it is needed. But choline is only part of the story. Eggs also contain lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds accumulate in brain tissue and have been linked to better processing speed and memory. They act as antioxidants, reducing oxidative stress during the hours your brain is trying to repair itself. Eggs are also one of the few natural food sources of vitamin D, which plays a role in brain signaling. Vitamin D receptors are found in memory-related regions, including the hippocampus. Low levels have been linked to cognitive decline, and providing this nutrient through food helps support overnight repair. And then there is cholesterol. For decades, cholesterol was treated like a villain, but your brain tells a very different story. Nearly 25% of the cholesterol in your entire body is found in your brain. It is a critical component of cell membranes and synapses. During sleep, when your brain is actively rebuilding and strengthening connections, cholesterol serves as a structural building block. Without enough of it, synapse formation becomes less efficient. Eggs provide this in a natural, balanced form that your body knows how to use. 2 to 3 whole eggs per day is a practical target. Including them at dinner ensures that choline and other nutrients are circulating. When your brain enters its most active repair phases. Food number 2, blueberries. Now let us add one more food to this system, and this may be the closest thing to a brain shield you will find in a grocery store. Blueberries. If earlier foods help your brain repair itself during sleep, blueberries help protect how well that repair holds up over time. They create a safer environment for your brain to strengthen memories and rebuild connections. The power of blueberries comes from compounds called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give blueberries their deep blue color. In blueberries, they are especially concentrated and unusually active inside the brain. Anthocyanins can cross the blood-brain barrier. That puts them in a small group of nutrients that can directly influence brain tissue. Not just circulate in the bloodstream. Once inside, they do something important. They reduce oxidative stress in the areas where brain cells connect and communicate. During sleep, your brain strengthens connections between neurons. This is how memories become stable and easier to recall later. But this process is sensitive. Oxidative stress and inflammation can disrupt it. Free radicals can interfere with signaling, weaken connections, and reduce the strength of newly formed memories. The brain still attempts to repair itself, but the results are less durable. Anthocyanins help prevent this. They neutralize free radicals, reduce inflammation, and protect the connections your brain is building overnight. In simple terms, they help preserve the repair work that happens while you sleep. Blueberries have also been shown to increase levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, often called DFREOPABNF. You can think of BDNF as a growth signal for your brain. It helps existing brain cells stay healthy and encourages the formation of new connections. Higher BDNF levels are linked with better learning, stronger memory, and greater resistance to age-related decline. This becomes especially important after 60, because BDNF levels naturally decrease with age. As they drop, the brain becomes less flexible and slower to adapt. Regular blueberry consumption has been shown in studies to help counteract this decline. Older adults who consumed blueberries daily showed improvements in memory and thinking skills within a few months. Other research has shown better communication between brain regions, suggesting improved coordination. There is also an anti-inflammatory effect. Chronic low-grade inflammation interferes with repair processes, disrupts signaling, and slows waste cleanup. The polyphenols in blueberries help suppress this inflammation, creating a cleaner environment for overnight repair. From a practical standpoint, blueberries are easy to include. About 1 cup per day, fresh or frozen, is enough to match levels used in research. Frozen blueberries are often just as effective and more convenient because they are preserved at peak ripeness. Eating them in the evening on their own, or with something like walnuts or a small portion of yogurt, helps align their protective effects with your brain's repair window. And this is where everything comes together. What you eat is not just about energy for the day, it is about support for the night. Because the real work your brain does often happens when you are asleep. Every night, your brain is trying to clean, repair, and rebuild itself. It is working quietly in the background, whether you notice it or not. But it cannot do that job properly without the right support. Small, simple choices. The foods you include. The timing of your meals. These things may seem minor, but over time, they shape how well your brain continues to function. Better memory. Clearer thinking. More confidence in everyday moments. These are not random. They are built slowly through daily habits. And the good part is, this does not require anything complicated. You do not need extreme changes. You do not need to follow strict rules. Just a few consistent choices, repeated over time, can support your brain in a meaningful way. Because taking care of your brain is not about chasing perfection. It is about giving it what it needs day after day. So tonight and in the days ahead, think about what you are giving your brain before you sleep. Because the way you care for it now is what supports how it serves you later. And that is something worth paying attention to.